Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone. This is Sagar Shah welcoming you to day 4 of the Aimchess US Rapid. Uh, Yesterday, the preliminaries came to an end, and we had our favorites Vidit Gujrathi from India, also Anish Giri, knocked out. They couldn't make it to top 8, and that's the reason why we now have uh, four quarterfinals matches, 8 players who are left, and that's going to be fun from the chess perspective. We have Dominguez versus Artemiev, Wesley So versus Alireza, Mamedyarov versus Levon Aronian, and Krzysztof Duda versus Magnus Carlsen. I'm going to have a small change today. That is, I'm going to do the commentary without an engine bar. We are going to just do it together because to improve chess, to have fun together, it's a change that I wanted to try out a bit. I hope that you all will enjoy with me. We will discuss, we'll see how difficult chess is, what are the correct moves, and so on. Yeah. So, shall we do that? The reason for not keeping a bar was to show you guys that sometimes, when we can see the bar, we just know what is happening. But when we don't see it, sometimes it's also fun and interesting. So, shall we go? Here we are, Magnus Carlsen playing with the white pieces, and Duda playing with black has opened the game with knight f3, d5, g3. This is the Reti system on the board. Magnus is playing the Reti. Duda is thinking this is, by the way, the semi-finals matchup of the World Cup again that we are going to witness. He goes for the move g6. Okay. By the way, this line, I remember I had seen yeah, let's try, guys. Let's try. Some issue with the mic, really? Okay, I'll fix it. Don't worry. Let's see if I am able to fix the as Niklesh likes to call it, the dhokebaz meter, the engine. So that's what we are going to witness today. Yeah. Okay, maybe now the sound is better. Okay, Magnus now, guys, look at this. So what happened is Magnus played g6, bishop g2, bishop g7, castles, knight to f6, and now he played the move c4. So the point is, if you take d takes c4, he wants to give a check and win this pawn on c4. That is his idea. So Duda goes c6. Now Slav defense c4, he has gone c6, but he's also played like Grunfeld. So it's like a mixture of Grunfeld plus Slav, and generally it's a very, very solid opening. Yeah. b3, knight to e4, and now, guys, first question to you. Your rook is hanging, so what do you play here? What do you play in this position? Duda has played his knight to e4. I know a lot of people want the bar, but guys, today, just for today, we will do it without the bar, and then later on I will put the bar up. Okay, so our main aim today is not to what is Magnus eating, by the way? Oh, he's eating some noodles. I like Magnus when he's eating stuff, like what does he eat? What does a world champion eat to become the world champion? Yep, d4 is right. Disha, Inu Borua, Yash Jadhav, Surendra, Karthik Ravichandran, Alpha Weirdo. Guys, you are right. You're right. d4 is what he played, stopping this bishop, attacking the rook. So black castled, and now Carlsen finished his development with bishop b2, and now bishop f5, and here he's played his pawn to e3. Okay, so it's a very solid position. You see the central pawns very nicely placed. The question to me is, what will black do? Because one of the things that Duda can do is go knight d7 and finish his development, but he goes a5. Wow, guys, a5 has been played and his plan is to play a4 in the position. What should white do here according to you? Think. Triple Szechuan rice, yeah, that's what he's eating. Oh, he goes knight to c3. Knight to c3. I was thinking about knight d2, but then a4 could have been an issue. But guys, knight c3, the main point is that a4 could still be possible, because after takes, you have dc, but nah, yeah, you take back and the queen defends the knight. So that doesn't work. But what can happen here is that after knight takes c3, bishop takes c3, black can still go a4. But Magnus seems to be okay with this. And maybe he will go CD and b takes a4, and he'll say thank you for the extra pawn, I'll push it to a5 and my bishop will support it. So that's the reason why he hasn't really yet responded over here, Duda, after knight to c3. He is thinking for his move. By the way, a lot of you really enjoyed Duda coming to ChessBase India for Grandmaster Chess, and it was so nice to have him there. He's such a calm and cool character, right? Look at him. He's so relaxed. He enjoys playing against Magnus. He enjoys to rise up to the occasion. He's like this big match player, Jan Krzysztof Duda. Okay, let me see if the chat chess moves working okay. Yep, all good. So I can see now the moves here. Let me also get the board. Okay, that is also done. So now I'll ask you questions from here. Okay, knight to c3, and now Duda is thinking, and he's played his knight to d7. He's put his knight on d7, and once again, guys, it's time for us to think. What should white play here? Let me see. What are your options, guys? We'll try to learn here. That's the main thing. And also, guys, if you are enjoying this, do subscribe and let's reach to 758k. Eval bar I haven't put, guys. I haven't put here. I'll bring back the bar after the game to see what we are thinking. Oh, he's played queen e2. Let me see how many of you guessed the move of Magnus Carlsen. Let's see. cd5 was the main move, but queen e2 was suggested by a few of you, and very, very proud of all those who thought queen e2. Shweta, RT and B Rabbit. Well done, guys. So think, guys, don't use engines, use your own brain and try to think. So he takes on c3. Bishop c3 has been played in this position. Very calm. Okay, now after bishop c3, once again black to play. What would black do? See, black wants to maybe strike in the center. He goes bishop e4. Once again, guys, it's your move for Magnus Carlsen. What will you play in this position? Let's try to see if we can play like Magnus. It's always a good training as to what we would do in this position. So, he takes on d5. I think Duda will take back with the pawn, because if you take back with the bishop, then I'll go e4, and that doesn't look good. So he will take back with the pawn. Shriram says, I'm 900. I cannot understand or enjoy the game without bar. Bring back the bar. Well, let's try, let's try. I'm not saying that I'm going to commentate every day without the bar. I'm just saying that try it out, guys. Who knows? Maybe you will say no to bars. You'll be like, okay, I just want to enjoy chess. I just want to think on my own. Queen b5 is a move that I would have never thought of. It's an interesting move. He's putting pressure on b7. It's a nice pawn. It's a free pawn. And you can't really play queen b6, because after queen takes d7, you would lose a piece. So queen b6 is not possible. What else can you do? Maybe you want to play queen c7, but then there is rook a to c1. So what Magnus is saying is that, look, with my queen here, you cannot get rid of that queen easily. Because remember, when the piece is one square diagonally opposite to a knight, the knight cannot attack it easily. It takes 3 moves for the knight to attack it. 1, 2, 3. That's a lot. So right now, also rook c8 is not a good move, because bishop takes a5 is hanging. I really like Magnus's position, and I think already he's better here. What do you think, guys? Do you also agree with me? Don't you think he's better? He's putting pressure here. If you play queen c7, there is rook a c1. Arshad sends a super chat saying, Sagar, I'm facing a problem with semi-Slav defense and Falkbeer gambit of the Vienna opening. Any tips on how to improve, especially for semi-Slav? Okay, one idea could be to semi-Slav, just very quickly so that we can address it. d4, d5, c4, c6, knight f3, knight f6, knight c3, e6. I'll tell you one line that I used to play. I would go e3, knight bd7, and then I would go queen c2. It's called a kind of an anti-Meran, bd6, and here I would play b3. My idea was to put bishop on b2, but not that first. First was to play bishop e2, castles, and then bishop b2. Meanwhile, if we went for e5, I would take, let's say castles, here b3, castles, bishop e2, b6, castles, bishop b7, and bishop b2. Here you put your rooks on d1 and e1, or you could also put on c1 and d1. Okay, try to play it that way and you should have good results. It's pretty interesting game. Okay, after queen b5, he went queen c7. Duda still played it. So Magnus now played his rook f to c1. Okay, he put the rook to c1. He attacked the queen in this position. He's threatening some kind of tricks. So Duda went queen c6. Interesting. And now after takes, I want you to think a bit and tell me, what would you play here with white? White to move, what would you do? Come on, think. Vishwa K, queen b6 was bad because the knight on d7 would hang. That was the reason. Chess commentary without bar is like dal without tadka. True. But sometimes when your stomach is not good, it's good to eat dal without tadka. Okay, many of you want to play knight e5, bishop b2, but the move which is cool catch, nice move. b4 also interesting, guys, interesting. So many interesting possibilities. Epsha says bishop b2, not a bad move. I think the problem could be if you go bishop b2, c5. You can't take because this bishop would hang. So that is the reason why Magnus starts off with knight e1. All those who said knight e1, well done guys. Because now if let's say Duda takes here, I take back. He's not getting in the move c5 just as yet because d takes c5 is a free pawn. Right, you take with the knight, then I take the bishop here, king takes and rook takes c5. And next move Magnus would like to put his knight on d3. So then this weaknesses would be very, very strong. So I don't know if Duda would take on g2. It doesn't look good. Maybe he will let Magnus take on e4 and then play de4 to stop the knight to come to d3. Because if Magnus would get his knight to d3, it would be very, very well placed. Also, Duda could think about going back bishop f5 in the position. I think that seems like an interesting idea, right? Bishop f5 at the very least. So, what do you think? Oh, look at what Duda has done. Duda has played the move. This is unbelievable. Yeah, I would have never thought of this. My candidate moves were bishop f5 and maybe rook fc8. But he played the move g5. Wow. Wow. Guys, g5 is such a crazy move. Why did he do g5? He's like, Magnus, if you want to take on e4, take it. Because d4, now your knight cannot come here. It's looking silly here. I get it. I get it. Magnus won't take on e4, I guess. But g5 is a very weird move, right? What is this bad network quality? I don't know how to get rid of it. Guys, do you know what is the fix to this? Keeps on coming all the time. Firuja beat Wesley. What? Wow. We'll check. We'll check. You know, without the bar, we can go slowly. Yeah, we cannot move too quickly because we have to understand the moves. And I know that a lot of you here are like, "Arey yaar, hum to bar ke bina chess hi nahi dekh sakte." But guys, today is just an exception. I want you to enjoy chess. It's a different feeling. Just सोचो ना, क्या खेलोगे? ये position में तुम क्या करोगे? White से. If you are Magnus Carlsen, what will you do? Please write down your move here. Even if you are 800, you are 400, you are 300. What will you play? Let's try to learn. Oh, he takes and plays rook c2. अब ये सोचा था क्या तुम लोगों ने? Did you think about it that he will take and he will play rook c2? What is his idea? What is his idea of rook c2, guys? What is his idea of rook c2? Yes, Himanshu Pandey, very good. Om Motlani, yes, doubling the rook. Ajay Arvind, rook c1, correct. Avinash Kumar says doubling. Pranit Gandhi, battery banani hai. Very good. See, now you're thinking. You don't know who is better, white or black. I think in this position, white should be better, guys, because ये देखो, ये isolated है. ये भी weak है. This is also weak. But the point is, will black get some counterplay with a4 at the right moment? Maybe to a4, Magnus is already ready to play b4. But Duda needs to think how can he create play here? After rook c2, Magnus का plan तो clear है. He wants to go rook c1. And e5 could be an idea, guys. e5 definitely on the cards. So I'm thinking, Ayush Verma says, why can't noobs enjoy here anymore after a long day at work? Bring bar back. No, you can enjoy. You can enjoy, I know, but every day we do it for enjoyment. Today's stream is a little different. It's for learning and improving. It's just my way to keep you improving and to keep myself sharp and fit. So please, let's enjoy together. It's a different kind of a thing. Look at Magnus, yeah, he's eating some kind of noodles, he's enjoying himself as well. So rook c2. What should Duda do here? Duda is also down to 5 minutes on the clock, man. Oh, all those who are talking about the Wesley So game, look at this. Oh man, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 2 rooks. He's rook up. Black is rook up. But the last move was queen c7. Wow, what a game this is. I think there are some sacrifices coming in here. Also, queen g3 has to be thought of. Wow, without the bar, this looks so difficult to assess. Even guys, knight e4 with the idea of queen g3 with knight f6 in the air. Queen g7 mate in the air. I think that is also quite a potent way. Alireza thinking. Okay, here, what do you think will Duda play in this position, guys? Black to move. Please write down your move in the chat. What will Black do here? I think Duda is under pressure, no? If Magnus will get like 2 moves in this position, bishop b2 and rook c1, he will be very happy. I think one of the problems for Duda is that after e5 takes, knight e5, bishop e5, bishop e5 and rook c1, he is losing this pawn for sure. I don't think he would have enough compensation for the pawn. Maybe a4, but b4. So let's see what moves you guys are coming up with. Sam Roberts, please do occasional no engine broadcasts. Helps us think by ourselves. Thank you, Sam. I'm glad that you are enjoying this. Let me see what are the moves suggested. e5, a lot of you. a4, c5. c5 to d takes c5 ke baad pawn is lost, right? See, if you play c5, I play d takes c5. If you take with the knight, I'll take bishop g7, king g7, rook c5. It doesn't work. So c5 not. Oh, by the way, all those who said a4, that was the move played in the game. a4, who all said a4? a4 by Govind Mathur, Chess D, Exyor, Samarth Mehran, Imran Mehta, Rohan Kumar, Avinash Kumar, Little Fox, Omkar Chakradev, Vicky Soni. Well done, guys. a4. अब उसने खेला b4 because he wants to not let oh no, he first played not a4, he played rook fb8. Rook fb8, rook b8. Vandit, Darshan, Sagar Shah, Matrix, just telescopic, and Shweta RT. Okay, all of you said rook fb8, he went rook a c1, a4, b4, and now he went a3. Okay, interesting. What if Magnus is to play, right? Guys, think with me. What do you think Magnus will do in this position? White to move. And what is Duda's idea if I go bishop d2? Doesn't that look like a strong move? Because bishop d2 के बाद हम ये मारेंगे यहाँ पर. How does he continue after bishop d2? Oh, e5 is his idea. ये देखो, guys, सोचो. Bishop d2, ये मर रहा है, correct? He'll go e5. Oh, he played bd2. He played. No. e6? What? Duda went e6? Why not e5? Is that a bad move? Because let's say e5, rook c6, ed4, bishop d4, rook d6. That is the problem. देखो. Rook c6, pawn takes, bishop takes, and also bishop g5 is hanging, but rook d6 also looks powerful. So that does not work. So e6 in the position, but e6 looks so passive. I think Duda says to Magnus, take the pawn, I'll go bishop f8. Now I'm attacking this, and Magnus said, no problem, I'll just defend the pawn. हम defend करेंगे. Duda is saying, ठीक है, you defend. I am coming to attack you. 1, 2 and 3. 3 attackers here. That's what Duda wants to do. Just a famous guy. जो भी सागर भाई को GM बनता देखना चाहता है वो बार डिमांड करना बंद कर दे. Guys, think. Knight f6. Now he's coming here and attacking this. How should we defend this pawn? Shall we go rook b1 here to defend this pawn? That could be one idea. I like rook b1, by the way. But rook b1, the problem is that he will go rook c8. But then we can go b5. Takes, pawn takes, rook. He went rook b1. Thank you guys, thank you. Thoda what? Knight d5. Okay, now b5. That was the plan, right? For rook b1. Wasn't b5. Oh, he went rook b3. Magnus is like, why should I commit so quickly? Because anyway, this pawn is not hanging. It's protected well 3 times. So why should I go quickly for b5? So rook b3. Okay. Now what does Duda do now? He's also losing another pawn, right? This pawn is weak. So actually he's not losing, because if rook a3, knight a3, there is knight b4. So in a way he will lose, like he won't lose the pawn. How do we continue? Siddhant Natekar say I'll give +1 for Magnus. Good. You should also give evaluations here in your mind, and then later on we will check. Yeah, I would also give +1 to Magnus here. Maybe +1.5, or is it a bit too much? Because maybe slightly a bit too much, because for now the activity is missing in the white pieces. Although they are pretty good, maybe 1.2 or something on the engine. I don't know, but so right now knight a3 is not an idea because of bishop b4, knight b4, and it seems like black would be doing very well with this attack on the rook and also on a2. So rook b3, how does black respond now? That's the question. Let's say Duda's moves are very unpredictable. Yeah, he goes g4. Like, let's clamp this structure down totally. ठीक है, g4 खेला, it's not like the end of the world. Now I don't want to take here, guys. I don't want to take it. मैं ये मारूंगा, देखो. If I take here, you are going to take bishop b4. Okay, bishop is attacked. You will take, I will take here. I am attacking this rook and this pawn, and it's already very good position for black. So I don't see why knight a3 should be taken in this position. I think Magnus should go either king f1, king e2, improve his king position, which he does so very often, and we have all learned from Hari Krishna how to do that, or he will go b5 just to improve his pawn structure, and you know, like b4 pawn ko problem se bachate hai, like push the pawn to b5. What are your thoughts, guys? What do you think will Magnus play here? What are your thoughts? Magnus also has more time. He has 6 minutes more. Sohail Misti said, I think it's equal, maybe slightly better for white, but mostly drawish. How, Sohail? White is a pawn up. Srinivas Gopalan says, shouldn't Duda break the close structure Magnus has by playing f5 at some point? But Srinivasan, how does f5 break it? f5 is not even breaking it, it just connects the pawns. So it's just, and also it weakens e6. Maybe what you are asking is e5. But e5, then it takes, it's a free pawn now, and then knight sits on d4. So breaks are not so easy. By the way, Magnus Carlsen has played his move here, b5. 1 minute. How many of you said b5? Let me see. Wow, so many of you. Sagar. अरे सागर साहा क्या नाम है यार? Actually, when I go to Kolkata, many times people call me Sagar Saha, not Sagar, or Odisha actually. When I go to Odisha, King F1. Yeah, many of you said King G2, but the right move is B5. Sagar, Smart, Cuber, PJ Ninja, Smita, Nihal, Little Fox, Utsav, I Lob, Itachi, and Savite Chess. Okay. So b5, Duda went rook b7, Magnus now went bishop c1. He's like, एक pawn तो है मेरे पास, अब मैं और एक pawn मारूंगा. I'll take one more pawn. But can Duda go rook b8 and attack here? Oh, maybe not. Maybe not, guys. The problem with rook b8, I'll tell you. Rook b8 is to take on a3. Now, if you take on b5, I will take, and play rook c8, and you lose a piece. On the other hand, if you are going to take here, then my knight jumps to a3 and defends the b5 pawn. So rook b8 is out of question, not a good move. What else can be a good move? Okay, one idea can be that when he plays bishop a3 to take, knight a3 and then double the rooks here, so that the a2 pawn falls. But what move to make for black? There is this very interesting trick. See, let's say king g7. Okay, just an idea. I take bishop a3, you take, rook here, okay, and now maybe b6, I was just thinking this, b6, rook a3, b7, could be winning for white here. But what he may do is, he may go for b6, he will take knight b6, and then rook a3, and I think this should be good chances of a draw. So he went rook a7 directly, okay. He's like, Duda is like, I'm going to save my pawn, but what about b6, rook b7 back, So now b5, rook a7. What do you do next? We have Akshay Natu. The business philosophy of one for the kitchen, one for the soul applies here. For those demanding bar, understand this. Sagar is doing for this soul the one he was searching for in Ghatkopar streets. Yeah, sometimes I feel like, okay, what is the today, like Vidit got knocked out, Anish is out. For whom should I commentate? And sometimes and like, okay, we can commentate for chess, we can commentate for good moves, and then feel like, why not think on our own? What does Magnus do now, guys? Whoa, did you see that coming? Rook c5. Magnus is like, bhai, your bishop is defending this pawn, two rooks are defending, so I am going to block this bishop, and next move I'm threatening to take this pawn. If you take the bishop, I'll take with the pawn and get two connected passers. Wow, what a concept by Magnus Carlsen. Unbelievable. And Duda is like, no, I don't want your pawn, I don't want your rook, I'm going rook a4. What? Man, Duda is also trying to create. But what if now I play bishop a3? What about it? Maybe he will take and go rook c4. With the idea of attacking this and this. Wow. Exciting. Rook a4 was very cool, right? The move. Rook a4. Okay, let's say bishop a3 takes. Now if you take with the bishop, rook a2 is hanging. If you take with this, then I go rook here. I'm threatening the knight. Maybe knight d4. check, king g2, knight c3. And you know, guys, there could be some mating ideas in the position. I don't know, not maybe not this. Something could be dangerous. Now Magnus thinking, because Duda is this very, very tricky guy. He takes on a3. Now bishop c5. He took. Yes. We were analyzing this. He takes now rook c4. I'm sure. What else? No, rook c4 forced, right? Duda has 37 seconds. No, Duda went e5. Duda is like, no knight d4 for your knight. Next move coming rook c4. Wow. This is heating up, guys. Oh, check is free rook. Sorry. Yeah, I'm very sorry. There is no check here. Bishop takes c1 is hanging. Very sorry. So he went first e5. He stops this. That's why it's important not to give the d4 square for the knight. No, we will check the game after it is over as well. So that time you will understand everything that's going on. So e5. Knight to b4. Hey, but knight b4, can't we take? If rook takes a3 is hanging, and if knight takes, bishop takes, rook a2 is hanging. But then Magnus is like, it's fine. I have 2 pawns. Duda, I think he'll take it. He took. Now 2 pawns versus these 2 rooks. Maybe Duda wants to like double down the 7th rank. He may also want to give a check here, guys, king g2, and then move the rook here. And the other rook swoops in and it's a mate. So this g4, e4 suddenly creating mating threats against the king. Now what does Magnus do? Look at Magnus Carlsen. He's a bit worried. Duda is super focused. 41 seconds. 5 minutes for Magnus Carlsen. Is Magnus winning or is Duda? b6. Okay. b6. Where to move the... Guys, what to do? I'm a bit... Look at this. Rook a1, just analyzing. Okay, king g2, rook c1, b7, queen here. Oh, you can't do it. Check, queen. And there is this check. Arey yaar. If there was no check, this mate could have been deadly. He goes rook c2. But now b7. b7, rook b8, c6, rook c6 cannot be played because rook takes c6. So b7, rook b8. Where to move the bishop? Bishop c3. Then maybe rook b7, rook c3. Oh, he went bishop c3 first. Okay, but if you go bishop c3 first, if I go rook a2, b7, rook a2, b7, rook takes f2, b8 queen. Check and queen e5. That is a big problem here. Okay. f6 by Duda. Oh, do you have time to play such a move like f6? I don't think so. b7, yeah. About to queen. I think Magnus is going to win this because it's just one tempo too slow. He's one tempo too slow and Magnus Carlsen has won it. Wow, what a game, guys. What a game. Maza hi aa gaya. Guys, did you enjoy it without the bar? Do you think Duda could have played better? Unbelievable game. Let's look at one game where it's completely insane complications. Also without the bar, we'll learn more. How about Wesley versus Firuja? I'll come back to this game, by the way, guys. We'll analyze it. I'll not forget it. We'll analyze it. Firuja here with Wesley So. Let's have a look at it. But Magnus wins. Magnus wins one game. Bishop e2. Okay. This is crazy stuff. Yeah, crazy stuff. We don't understand what's happening. Okay. Pawn is queening. But Firuja wants to mate. Knight h5. If queen h5, bishop h5 is defended, b1 is not coming right now. So what is the move that black should play here? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe queen a2? But that looks so risky, bringing your queen away. He goes knight d4, attacking the bishop. What does Ali do here? He has queen c3. Okay. What about knight here? Knight takes. Queen b4, huh? And then you can't play queen h5 because of queen takes f8. That is a problem. He takes on e2, queen b4. I'm sure he'll take it. Queen b2. And then what to do? King g8. He defends this. Knight attacks here. We have Akshay Nathu saying, I like no bar. I'm guessing move as per instincts. Watching chess without bar is ironically like Irish scotch. Give it time, chat. It'll grow on you. Yeah. King g8. Maybe we'll start liking it and you will all be like, no bar in future. Knight g3. Let's take it. Shall we take it? But if we take it at g3, how do you defend this pawn? I would take it, no, next move. It seems very difficult here. It seems like take, queen a2. There is queen e7 somehow. Wesley So thinking here what to do. Srinivasan says rook c5 blocking bishop f8 by Magnus was probably the match-winning move. Amazing. Yes, we will analyze it. We'll analyze and see if that was the only move. But it was beautiful. That is true. Oh, queen h5 check, king g1, right? Queen e2. Now this move defends this and also stops this. Can we go queen b7 threatening a mate here? But queen b7, how about he goes queen b3 check, okay, king h8, right? Wesley So has 40 seconds on the clock, plays rook f7, okay, rook f7 से क्या करेंगे अब? Can I go rook b1 with the rook b1, rook f6 is pinned, so can't do it. Yeah, now I'm threatening this. Maybe this is a draw. Because if the king cannot move, you can't take here. Everyone's saying it's so weird without the bar. Queen e5, but queen b2. Or is Alireza going to get ambitious now? This is the thing with Alireza. He gets queen b2 is okay. Now queen takes b2, rook takes b2 and rook f6 with a draw. So this game will end in a draw. Let's have a look at this one because this one is Shakhriyar Memdyarov versus Levon Aronian. Levon versus Shak. Let's see. I love Mamedyarov's camera by the way. Very smart. D3. ठीक है. भाई ये तो ज़्यादा कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. This is hanging here, but then this is hanging. Okay, knight d4. If bishop takes d4, pawn takes. You can't take queen takes, can you? Because bishop d2, there is queen a1. So maybe, yeah, bishop d4, cd and queen d4 looks good. Mamedyarov has 1 minute 10 seconds. Levon Aronian also 1 minute 10. Black is looking better over here. Yeah, I also think so. Black looks winning, no? Here, black has like huge material advantage. 2 pawns up. 1 pawn up, but clearly better. Prakhar says white bishop on b1 does not have a good future. I agree. Oh, what? Firuja, how did he lose a queen? Queen b2, queen a5, queen d4, queen c7, queen e4, rook f6, rook b7. Oh, he blundered. Because now after queen c1, king h2, it's gone. I don't know what happened to Wesley. Wesley could have just taken on b2 and drawn the game. I think he just pressed it too hard. This should be... What should be this position, guys? Will Firuja win this? Or will it be a draw? I mean, I think he may lose this pawn eventually. And then the question is whether these two pawns versus these two pawns, rook and queen, is it a fortress? I don't think so. I think Firuja will win. Because firstly, he's going to come king g4, king h5. It's over. No, it's winning. It's winning. There's no fortress, I think. He'll go king g4. Okay, king g6. King g6. Play queen e4. Push the king back. Play king g4. King h5. Then this comes in. I think Wesley's just pushed too hard. He had a draw in his hand. He had a draw. By the way, here, what's happening? What's happening? This pawn is rushing down here. Okay. This pawn, this king could come down here. I think king c4 is not possible. King e4, king b3, king f5, king a2, rook takes b2. Oh, he played. Now king takes. This should win. This should win. This should win for white. I mean, sorry, draw. This should draw. King e4. King e4. See, king e4, king b3, king f5. Oh, he took. Now king b3, king f5. King b3, king f5, king a2, rook b2, g5, king b3, g6, king c4, g7, rook g2, king f6, and yeah, king d5, king f7. Draw. That's what happened, yeah, like king c3 check, king f5, king c2, takes, and this should end in a draw. The pawn will cost the rook and the king will take this pawn. Okay, going back to Mamedyarov's game. Okay, can't move the knight, guys. Mate in one threatened here, so can't move the knight. Knight g6. Oh, you can take rook a6. If you go rook e6, maybe he'll go rook a7, trying to attack here. I think white has enough compensation to hold this to a draw. So Dominguez versus Artemiev ended in a draw. Wesley So lost this game because he saw that once the king moves, the white king is coming in. So he resigned. So the only game in progress is now Mamedyarov versus Levon Aronian. 95. Acha, you can. I think you can't take rook e5. Rook d6, rook c5 would have been strong. f4. f4, knight d3, I guess. But then f5. Rook. Where should rook go? Rook e2. And then rook c7. Attacking g7 here. Yeah, should be fine. Knight d3, f5. Let's push. Or should we go rook c7? Oh, he goes rook c7 directly. take this. It's go f5 first, okay. It's going to be these pawns versus rook. Yeah, rook e2, like take on g7. I think that it's very difficult to say who's better. Maybe it's black who's doing slightly better here because he has rook c2 ideas, and then this pawn is closer to queening. Check, king f8, rook c7. Oh, and now d5. Maybe d5. Because if you go rook c2, then rook c4 is coming here. So that shouldn't work. He's also thinking of knight e5. He went knight e5. But now bishop e5, rook e5, rook c4. Again, draw. That should be a draw. Bishop b4. Levon is like, no draw. I want to fight on. Maybe rook d2. Stop the bishop taking the pawn. King g8. Oh, rook d2 bishop. And what am I doing? Bishop takes d2 is hanging. Sorry. So he had to play this. Bishop takes d6, knight f7. Attacks the bishop. Bishop f4 and rook c4. Now he plays rook e4, g3, h5. No, this looks good winning chances for white. King g2, king f3 with these three pawns. Looks interesting. Great possibilities. Okay, what does black do? Rook d4, okay. How about king f3, but then check here maybe. But check, then king e4. So, doesn't work. Also, next move, I want to go g4 and get myself connected passers here. King f3 and now h4. Oh, h4. Can we go g4? Check. King here, rook h3, g5. I think that looks good for white. That looks good for white. I think g4 looks solid. Yeah, g takes h4 is also possible. But g takes h. Yeah, he goes g4. Check. King e4. Yep. Takes g5. Yeah, he plays the line that I suggested. Good. Now g6, f6. Check here. Could get nasty. G6. G6, knight d6. Yeah, I think Levon is winning here. Yeah, resigns. Shakhriyar Memdyarov resigns the game. Levon Aronian has won it. That signals the end of all the rounds here. But great games, yeah. Great games. Guys, let's have a look at some analysis with the bar now. But in the game, like we usually should try to do this once in a while to improve our understanding of chess. Because, chess is a very complicated game. And many times with the bar, it makes it look very simple. It makes it feel like, oh, players like Mamedyarov, Aronian, all these top players are just very weak, which is not true. Without the bar, we cannot understand much sometimes what's going on in these top level games. So now it's time to do some analysis of Carlsen's game because we saw it very closely. And now I'll put the bar here so that you can understand who was winning, who was better. Right? So, firstly, G3, G6. So I thought in the opening everything was around about even. B3, knight E4, D4 castles, bishop B2, bishop F5, E3, A5, knight C3, knight BD7, queen E2, take, bishop E4, and now CD. Yeah, I think bishop E4 turned out to be an inaccurate move because of knight F6 I think was better. Says take, bishop E4 takes, queen B5, and now Magnus is slightly better. You see how Magnus quickly understands the small things that are happening in the position. You know, he understands them like instantly. कि हाँ देखो, B5 square is weak. My queen will be very well posted there. Queen C7, rook F C1, queen C6. Good move by Duda. Take. And again, best move by Magnus here, knight E1. Although some of you were also mentioning B4, that also looks good. Knight E1, G5. I mean, this move we did not consider. G5. Magnus took, and now played rook C2. Good move. Rook F B8, rook A C1, A4, B4, A3, bishop D2. And yeah, we were talking about E5 in this position. Actually, E5 is the best move here. I mean, Duda played E6, but I thought E5, and with the analysis that I did was like take, bishop takes, and rook D6. Remember, this line I had analyzed, but it goes on with bishop B2, takes, and it's around equal, this position, after rook takes b4. So perhaps e5 was a good idea. I mean, it's not equal as such because like you can take, and also play bishop takes g5. But still, I mean, here this was the best practical chance. I think rook c4 is also possible. Rook 1 c2 and white is better. But e6 was not a good move. Takes here, knight c2, knight f6, rook b1, good move, knight d5, rook b3, good move, g4, b5, rook b7, bishop c1, rook a7, and now, wow, Magnus did find this. By the way, my move king f1 was also not bad. King f1 was also good, bringing the king into the game. But rook c5, classy move. It keeps white's advantage intact. Rook a4, bishop a3, takes, e5, knight b4. Again, a great move. Takes, bishop takes, rook a2. Here, bar is just like winning completely. But during the game, we were like, who will win this? Rook c2. If he goes b7, there is rook b8. And we thought that maybe that game is not so simple, but bishop c3, good move, f6, b7, and he resigned because rook b8. Now c6. And with this, Magnus Carlsen won his game. Did you guys enjoy this overall without no bar commentary? How was it? Like one game we saw without the bar. Did you enjoy it? I'll make a poll here. You give an answer. Okay. How many of you enjoyed? How many did? Did you enjoy the no bar commentary? Yes or no? Let's see. Let's ask. I mean, we'll learn. No, guys. We'll learn and then we'll keep getting better. Why should you every time know exactly what's happening? No, there's a vote here, so please do vote and we'll see. I mean, I'll get to know. Okay, there is yes, no, both are there. Okay, 64% said yes. Wow. That's like very cool. Absolutely enjoyed the analysis, Sagar. Even after training with an IM for last 3 weeks, Magnus Duda game was over my head. Oh well, Srinivasan, maybe this will help. More. We'll do one more game. I'm very glad that so many of you enjoyed this. I thought it would be like ulta. 60 people will say we didn't enjoy, and 40% would say I enjoyed. But I'm very glad. Thank you all for that. By the way, just so that you guys know, couple of things I wanted to share before the next round begins, which will start maybe very shortly. Firstly, as you know, yesterday we launched the ChessBase India app on Android, and the response was overwhelming. A lot of people downloaded it. Very good feedback. I read all of that on email. I'll also respond back to it, all the emails. You can access social media, you can use the search bar, you can use the banners, latest chess news, position for the day, calendar, which are the new events coming up, latest chess videos. There's also a menu where you can log in, bookmark, all of this. It's completely free, no ads, nothing. Just use it. It's made with a lot of love and effort. So please do use it on Android. That's the first link in the description. The second link is for the chess set. If you want, it's premium chess set from ChessBase India. You get the chessboard pieces, 2 extra queens. You get also a pouch for keeping the board, also a pouch to keep the pieces in it. There is also, this is how the pieces and the board look. They are quite heavy, in weight. When you play, you will enjoy it. This is how the pawn looks, the knights, the rooks, the bishops, queen, king. And so guys, anyone wants to get the chessboard, chess set, that is how it looks. Also, I wanted to give you an update about our fundraiser for the little boy Sanjay, for whom we have been raising funds. You all have been extremely supportive. Sanjay Shivakumar, who is 10-year-old and suffering from osteogenesis imperfecta. So many of you have contributed towards that cause, and I just want to update you. It is amazing how much money actually has been raised. Just to update, it's a huge number, but I just want to make sure that I can update it and tell you. Yesterday it was around 4 lakhs, and today is the last day because August we are going to shut down that, and I think we've met the aim. So I have not even put the links in the description anymore because a lot of you have contributed, and the total amount, guys, that we have raised is this much: 5,07,144. A huge thank you to everyone who's contributed. Huge sums of money have been contributed. There have been few people who've come forward with 50,000 rupees. So 5 lakh rupees for Sanjay and his family here, his father, who's a chess player, who is a chess coach, chess arbiter, chess organizer. They have faced a lot of difficulties in his treatment. He has had 57 fractures. The young boy is the under-7 district champion, and so many of you contributed. And by the way, guys, this is not the last. In this, we will add the August month's YouTube membership money also. That will be another few thousands, at least 50,000, I guess. I have to calculate. And then all of this detail will be published on ChessBase India website with your name, amount, everything very transparently. And this is the amount that we have received. So big thank you to everyone who's contributed. Thank you all for doing this. You guys are amazing. Okay, time to go for the next round. Let's go. Magnus Carlsen versus Duda. Again, we'll see with Duda having white this time. How are they going to deal with it? I mean, how is Duda going to deal with Magnus? Because Magnus already leading 1-0 in the match. Let me get the game rolling. Okay, 1 second. Wow, they made some very quick moves. So let's have a look at it. It seems like theory. Yeah, there we have both the players on the board. Okay, let's go, guys. So Duda plays e4, Magnus goes e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, Ruy Lopez, knight f6 Berlin variation. He goes anti-Berlin, does not allow knight e4, d6. Oh, 1 second. 1 second. Guys, what am I doing? I have to shut down also from my end. I don't want to look at it for now. So, guys, for this game as well, we won't look at it. Castles, bishop e7. Yeah, I'm also not looking at it. c3, castles, rook e1, a6, bishop a4, rook e8, knight d2, bishop f8, knight f1. So this is a very typical idea. Here, and here. h6, knight g3, b5, bishop c2, d5. And now this is an important moment, guys, because क्या होता है कि अपन d5 whenever it comes, no, black is trying to equalize in the position with the move d5. But white, by the way, Dhruv Vashist, thank you for becoming supporter of Indian chess. Take, knight takes, and now a4 was played by Duda. So Duda, now see, the thing is, firstly there is pressure on the e5 pawn. Even though this looks slightly passive, no, like you've given away space, black has the pawn, you always have the possibility of playing d4. Also the e5 pawn is weak. So Magnus right now, I mean Duda right now decides to first open up things on the queen side. Rook b8, bd2. The idea is to play b4. So knight f6, b4, so that c3 is defended now with the bishop. And this is the position on the board. Right now it's black to play. Magnus goes queen d6. Okay, fine. Now let's think what Duda will do here. Let's try to think, guys. White to move. What will Duda play? I think this was all opening theory until now. Look at Duda's time, 15 minutes on the clock. So he's well prepped up. What do you do here with white? White to play. क्या खेलेंगे दोस्तों with white? Why was a4 played? Vinayak Kumar, a4 is a very typical idea because you have tension here in the position. You can anytime take and activate your rook, and if he takes ever, you can take with the rook, and then this a6 pawn becomes a weakness, isolated pawn. I don't think d4 yet is coming. I mean, you have to keep your eye open for it, but after ed4, the rook, here the knight defends the rook, so I don't think that works. Magnus is still eating, huh? What is he eating now? Oh, he has another box of these noodles. Sometimes, you know, guys, we wonder, what does the world champion eat? And today we know, yeah, like this secret ingredient. Okay, queen d6. Whoa, knight h4. Wow, knight to h4. Amazing. Oh, knight f5 was one move, but that was a free piece. Anyone knight h4? No one had thought of knight h4. Wow. Guys, see how good this move, like you're learning so much. Knight h4. The idea is knight f5. All those who wanted to play knight f5, actually guys, that is a piece blunder here. So really, I was also thinking of moves like queen e2, but knight h4 is angling at this square here. And now Magnus goes bishop to g4. Okay. f3 is something I don't want to do. I don't like it, but could be concretely okay. Let's see. f3, bishop goes back, maybe to d7, knight f5, or, एक second. How about bishop e6, knight f5, queen d7? Yeah, so black looks okay here. So f3 just looks not great. And that's why he goes bishop to queen to c1. Duda plays queen c1. Magnus goes queen d7, keeping an eye on the f5 square. Okay, fine. Ab, what does Duda do now? Because Magnus has stopped his knights from coming to f5. Duda is not very happy, you see. Also, if you go h3 here, trying to kick the bishop away, so at least if the bishop goes back, then I can come back with my knight and attack this pawn. I think Magnus is preparing to take. And this could be really dangerous. With queen here, knight coming in, should be not simple, this position. So queen d7, Duda is a little bit apprehensive about h3. If you don't go h3, what else do you do? What else can we play, guys? I know d4 can be an idea. h3, oh, h3 was played. So Duda is like, okay, Magnus, if you want to take. Magnus says, I don't want to take. He goes back. But once you go back, now can't I do this knight f3 back? Like knight f3, attacking this pawn. d4 बोल रहे हो लोग. Guys, d4, but then ed4. Yes, you get control of f5, but you're just losing pawn, right? So d4 नहीं खेलेंगे. I don't think d4 is a good move. He went queen d1 back here, and Magnus quickly put his rook on d8. Oh, guys. Ek move either this. There's one move which is very common in such positions, but I don't think it works here. But let's see. I mean, I would really love to play queen f3 here with the idea of knight f5. The problem seems to be bishop d5. And then if I go knight e4, then you take, pawn takes, and queen d2. And this doesn't seem to work. So bishop d5 is quite an irritating move, right? Sangam. Hi sir, you read a lot of non-fiction books. I have read Atomic Habits, which you have read. Can you suggest some good books which you found insightful? Yes, I have a bag of books right now. I just went out with some books. I want to show you. Maybe it will be useful. So, No Rules by Netflix and the Culture of Reinvention. I like it. Then Hyper Focus. I like this book. It talks about, it's by Chris Bailey. Good book. Lying by Sam Harris. Also like it. Why lying is not a good idea. Speak the Truth. Very good book. Principles by Ray Dalio. I think these are 4 books which are very good. I'm reading more, but I think these 4 right now take up a lot of my time. Okay, coming back, guys. Duda has some real problems to solve. Huh? He has some real problems to solve in this position. Hey, how about, guys, how about knight h5? No? Then you take, my queen comes like really active in the position. I like this move. Knight h5, right? This is one possibility. What are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts for moves here? Let's see. Can you write down the move in the chat? What are your thoughts? We can also see. Ritesh Chandra says Duda is point plus 0.5. Wrong analysis. Yes. Okay, I mean, the thing is that I feel like Magnus's position looks great, but as we know that after knight h5 takes could be that white is doing really well. I mean, it's a position where you are not so clear as to who's better. I think white has to play carefully in order to keep his edge. Siddharth M, I want to keep a live board, but many times when the move happens there, then you guys are able to see it. So my aim today is not just about coverage of games, is to teach you, and maybe it's a more like a training session. That's why. Jinay Mehta, have you read Power of Habits? Looks like a good book, but I think so. I haven't read, but could similar to Atomic Habits or not? So Duda, let's see what you guys have come up with. The moves that are being suggested here are knight e4, one move. Looks interesting. AB5 also looks fine. I mean, opening the A file. Good suggestions. Bishop e3, which Duda has played in the game. But no one actually suggested knight h5. Yeah, the move that I said. Interesting. Okay. The move that was played by Duda was knight f3, attacking e5. Okay. Bishop came to d5. Now the rook defends. Now bishop came to e3. And queen dropped back. And now you see this is opposite the queen. So e4 is a real threat in the position. Once again, how should Duda meet this threat? I'm thinking if queen e2 is an idea, but queen e2, there's again, it's sitting opposite the rook. It might not be the most comfortable spot for it to be on. You know, I have a bias for black pawn here, and I don't like this structure for white. But this is actually not true. White's structure is pretty good. You know, he has flexibility. He can break d4. This bishop can anytime be activated here. Sometimes it pops up via b3. Mayur says queen b1. Maybe. I don't like queen b1. It looks, queen is slightly misplaced, but maybe it's okay. Queen b1. Yeah, queen e2 is another idea. The problem with queen b1 is that bishop f3, gf3 and queen h3 might lose a pawn. So, not play that instantly. I think if queen e2 works, it's worth playing because next move you can go knight e4. Here I want to go knight e4, but it doesn't work because of bishop e4 and I lose a piece. So I'm wondering what to do here with white. Okay, there is one more plan, but maybe that doesn't work either, right? Like I wanted to play knight h2. It's just something like I want to go knight g4 in the position. Maybe it's not a good idea at all. Also, but e4 I wanted to meet with d4. But overall, no, I don't like knight h2. I don't like it. No, it's not good. Let's think of something else. Like I think queen e2, right? What else, guys? What else? What are your suggestions here? Let's see. Please do write down in the chat here. What do you want to play? You see how tricky it is to understand what to do. Oh, guys, there is one more idea. Knight d2. Knight d2 with the idea of knight e4. Knight d2, e4, d4. Knight e4, knight e4. Bishop e4, bishop. Yeah, so e4 is not coming for knight d2. Guys, he played it. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. d4. Everyone wants to play d4. No, d4 doesn't look good. d4 really doesn't look good because d4, I mean what? d4, I can just take. I mean e4 may be even possible, but taking here seems, I mean black should be fine here. There's also bishop f3 actually, which could be quite nasty. Takes, takes and takes. Bishop is hanging and then knight is. So yeah, I don't like this move d4. The other suggestion was knight d2, of course, is now moved to the top, but d4, queen c1, bishop f3, bishop b3, okay, but then e4 still look dangerous. There, queen e2, but knight d2, yeah. He wants to put his knight on e4, I believe, but then take, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen would hang. Perhaps first queen e2, then put the knight on e4. Sagar bhai, I'm 300, says Niccolo Paganini. I don't blunder pieces and know some tactics like skewer pin and mating patterns. Any advice for improvement? Okay, I have a very good advice for you, and maybe it is something that you could make use of instantly. It is this book that I would highly recommend you to check out, and I think anyone who wants to improve, it's a very nice book. This one, it's the chess course by Praful Zaveri, and today is the last day for the discount on the book. It is 25% off since it was launched, and it was till 31st of August. So today is the last day, and I'll put the link in the description. If anyone wants to get it, you can think about it. It's the 25% off on chess course. Today is the last day for it. From tomorrow it will cost 500 rupees more. So in case if you want to get it, it has all the tactics, all the mating patterns. Today I have put up a video also on the Jorden's mate, which you can check. Okay, by the way, Magnus went 97, 94, and now this is the position. So for anyone who's like from beginner who doesn't know anything about chess to somewhere around 1000 or 1200, I would highly recommend this book. It's really a nice one. So he took, pawn takes, bishop e6. Okay, now the space in the center has been equalized, but how do we continue? Queen e2. Queen e2. He was putting pressure on d5, but now. Can we go c4? c4 could be an idea. Takes knight c4. That is one. What else can we do? Can we hassle him with bishop b6? But then he has rook d7. I don't see much after it. What else can he do? Knight b3 with the idea of knight c5 or knight a5. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Knight b3 looks really nice. I was also thinking AB, but then after CB, my c3 pawn becomes weak. Knight b3 is one move, guys. I feel Duda can play. Bishop b6, okay. I'm not a big fan of that move because rook d7, I don't see the point after it. Bishop, what else can he do? c4, yeah, c4 is too direct. Maybe it's a good move. c4, pawn takes, knight takes. I think it's good. What do you think, guys? c4 could be a nice move. So my candidates are knight b3 and c4. These two, out of these two. Pretty sure that he would do something out of that too. What do you think? Or maybe I'm just wrong. And would he do like knight f1 to g3 to f5? Maybe as well. Maybe. See, this is big learning for all of us. You know, if you think of one move, and if Duda plays something else, it's a question as to why Duda did not do something like what we were discussing. Siddharth Ranadev, Nilesh Dharap says rook a d1. I feel like the rook has possibilities here because of ab5. And I don't want to give up that a5. That's the reason why I'm not playing. Oh, he went bishop b6. This Duda, what move is he making? Like rook d7, what is his plan? Oh, maybe after that he wants to play knight b3. Yeah, rook d7. I thought after this he was knight f3. But now knight g6. Yeah. Queen e3. Guys, we will check with the engine later, yeah, whether c4 or knight b3 was better or bishop b6. Okay. We'll check it after the game. Okay, knight g6. f6. Oh, h4. But h4. Okay, if knight f4, maybe he wants to go g3. How about how should we continue now with black? Because this. So what Duda has done is that he's saying that you can't go on the d file to Magnus. So my bishop controls this, and he's also defending his bishop this way. Also, if knight f4, he's ready to push it with g3. Knight h3, king g2, no problems. So in a way, this could be a great idea by Duda. Magnus has to do something about this bishop. So how about bishop e7 with the idea of bishop d8, and also to h5 you can jump back to f8. Because knight f4 activity. But what about g3? Magnus के पास कोई tactics है क्या? Does he have some tactical ideas? g3, हाँ खेला. What is he planning? Bishop h3. Bishop h3, gf4. Some rook move d3. Bishop d3, queen g4 mate. No. Really? Can you do that? Because bishop h3 idea is also knight g2. Whoa, look at what Magnus did. Guys, you can't guess this move. Guess what Magnus played. Black to play. I can't believe this move. Black to move. I would have never guessed it. Chiku Khargosh, thank you for becoming pillar of Indian chess. Thank you. No, knight h3, king g2 is coming. Knight h3 is not a great move. I mean, this is Magnus Carlsen for you guys when the position starts getting tough. Yes, Sarang Gupta, did you see the move that Magnus played or you thought on your own? Ritvik Janugam. Look at this. G5. What a move. And the point is, if you take, I believe he wants to just take with the pawn and then swing his rook over. Why? Magnus Carlsen in full flow. So Duda said, I don't want to take. I'll play rook d1. Magnus says, okay, now you can't even take it because gf4 check and you lose the queen. Wow. What a resourceful idea by Magnus. This knight f4 and g5. Amazing. Amazing. Very nice, no guys? Did you like this idea of Magnus? Did you like it? It's a very cool idea. I mean, I thought, what is he going to do after g3? g5. Rook g7. Now Duda. Maybe he's on the back foot, huh? A little bit. I mean, if you're not taking this, there's nothing to worry. But okay, rook g7. I know, guys, that this commentary session looks more like a training session without the bar, but I understand. I mean, it's just something that I wanted to try, and I know some of you are getting a little bit bored or tired, but try to think for a move. Just try it. Whatever, like, just deep breathe. I know it might not give you that same excitement and thrill, but perhaps it's good for your learning. We'll have the bar back soon for other sessions. Kartavya Gupta, thank you for becoming backer of Indian chess. King h2. Now look, he wants to take. So will Magnus have to move back his knight? Magnus, see, the thing is, Duda after king h2 is like, Magnus, I'm going to take your knight. I think Magnus is not going to move it. Magnus is not going to even move that knight away. What can Magnus play now? I think he might even be ready to give it up and play this position, even though there is no check. So he may not move his knight. Also, moving the knight might be a little bit too slow because I have h5. Maybe knight g6 is not so stupid, right? Knight g6 is possible. What else can you do? Bishop to c4, opening up the queen's path. Wow. Now I think Duda has to take, right? If he doesn't take, then Magnus's queen is coming in. Oh, Duda goes knight g1. Duda is like, now move your knight. Otherwise, I'll take. Oh, how is it? Move your ghoda, move your ghoda. Magnus की streak जैसे डूडा ने तोड़ा, like something like that, right? Isn't this perfect movie? What are the lyrics of this Samay song? बैठे खेलने को चेस के खिलाड़ी, or good. हाँ, Magnus versus Duda जैसे streak तेरा तोड़ा. Isn't it so perfect? Oh, h5. So knight f96, h5. Because now he was really threatening to take. Yeah, after this, take and just move the queen here. So he went back h5, g4. So the threat could be now to play rook g5 and rook h5. Can we snatch this pawn? Not really, I think, because rook h7. Maybe not. Like take on h6. Let's think. Take on h6. He goes rook d2. I mean, it's too risky, I think, to take that pawn. Rook g5, correct. Now he's threatening to win this pawn. I think Duda will be okay to give it up. Perhaps just move here. He is okay that you take this pawn. bd3. Rook h5, king g2. If bd3, rook d3, and Duda wants to double down the d file, Duda is just saying that, look, Magnus, even though you may win a pawn here, your pawn structure and also your pieces are misplaced. So I will have compensation. That's what he's trying to say. bd3, what does Magnus do now? Vinayak Kumar, yes, maybe earlier he could have exchanged bd3, but now actually Magnus and Duda both down to 1 minute 45 seconds. And Magnus knows that this pawn is not so important. Even if he wins this pawn after king g2, he is not getting much of play. Unless there is some sacrifice like knight f4, gf4 in the air. So Magnus thinking, what should he do here? Also, the bishop cannot go back. And you don't really want him to take. So take. Oh, he took with the queen. Interesting. And now I take on h5, king g2. Yeah, king g2, of course. Okay, knight f4 check, gf4, ef4. That doesn't seem great. I mean, there's always queen d7 there. I think Duda has got really good play. How about queen b7 here? Hitting the bishop, and then if the bishop moves back, then I go rook d8, fighting for the d file. But I think after queen b7, he might go a5. That could be an idea. Magnus down to 58 seconds. Oh my god. Magnus Carlsen seems to be finding this difficult. Rook g5, queen d7. Maybe he wants to go back rook g7. Queen c8, rook c8. Wow. Magnus Carlsen slightly on the defensive in spite of being a pawn up, because Duda's piece is pretty well placed. Although the knight is not so well placed. It takes. Now queen d7. No, queen d7, yes. Because if queen takes c3, queen e8. Queen d2, queen e6. Okay, works. Queen d7. If you play rook g7, I'll take here on c8. Rook c8 and rook takes a6. It's getting very, very nervous position. Duda really focused there. He goes rook a2. He wants to take this pawn with the rook. Somewhere Magnus needs to sacrifice something to get play rolling. But he could go queen c6, but there is rook a6. 44 seconds, 43 seconds for Magnus. What will he do? He goes rook g7, takes queen d7, but that is passive. Guys, I think white is better here in this position. White definitely is pushing with these equal pawns. Yeah, let's take it. Oh, he played queen d5. Duda is very smart. Like, if you take, I'll take back with the pawn, having a passer. And threat is also rook a7. What to do? He goes knight to g5. Okay, he took the queen, took here knight g5. Okay. This pawn is weak. Can we attack it with rook a5? Also, rook takes f6 can hang if the bishop moves. So perhaps bishop e3 is possible. Bishop c5 once again. Here, this time Duda plays his bishop here. He wants to take this pawn. Rook d7, but now rook f6. Bishop c5. bc5, rook d5. Okay, got it. Rook d7. The pawn is hanging here. How do we defend this pawn? Shall we push forward with d6? Could be an idea. Then knight e4 looks strong. But if rook f6, bishop c5, bc5, rook d5 already looks very strong. Duda has only 35 seconds left on the clock. Takes on f6. Can we take here or should we take first on c5? That is a question for sure. But if you take on c5, pawn takes, rook h6, rook c5. I think the position, too many pawns are exchanged. So Magnus thinking he has 25 seconds on the clock. 22. The position should be better for white here, guys. I do get this feeling that he's better. He's also 2 pawns up, so it's clear. He goes bishop to g7 here. Wow. But now, what to do? If the rook moves away, then d5 hangs. Could be an idea to play rook d6. Rook d6, rook d6, bishop d6. He goes rook b6. He wants to win this pawn here. Knight e4. Here. I mean, you really want to control this pawn. Knight e2. Also c3 was hanging. So rook d5, maybe rook a7. Look at Duda's move. Now b5 is on the firing line. And also rook b7 is also strong. 33 seconds for Magnus. 21 for Krzysztof Duda. Both of them extremely focused. Magnus has 1-0 lead in the match already, but Duda can pull things back here. He went rook d8. And now what do we do as white? Bishop e3, okay. Stopping rook d2. So white says I have now equality in terms of material and also in terms of, play. White is doing really well. So I like white's position overall. But whether Duda can convert this is an entirely different ball game. Rook c6. Okay, maybe Duda wants to go rook c5 and exchange black's active pair of rooks. Knight f5. Nice. Threatening knight takes e3. Bishop c1. Rook d7. Okay. Rook a2. Ooh, he went back. Kept the rook on the board. King f7. Look at Duda's time. He has only 10 seconds left. King f7. c4. What takes. Okay, white has a passed pawn here. I don't think this should be enough. Now, I think black has fought back enough. Should be around like close to equality now. Rook b2 is e4 on the cards with the bishop attacking on b2. Maybe e4, e3. Rook b2. Magnus has 10 seconds left on his clock. He goes rook b7, stopping that pawn from advancing. Can we go knight c3 here? So this is hanging, and then knight e4. Bishop e3. So just a second, give me a second, I'll be back. But here knight e3 is okay with this, yeah? Spoiling of structure. Takes, pawn takes, bishop f8. Okay, Magnus coming in now. The pawn on b5 is quite risky, but e3 is also hanging. Comes king e6. I think Magnus has things under control here. Doesn't seem like any clear-cut way. He goes e4. Okay. Okay, now knight d5 could be idea. Could be an idea. How do you win this pawn? Guys, the position could be slightly better for white. I feel like white's doing really well. Bishop a3, rook b3. He goes rook f2. Maybe rook c6. The rook may penetrate down the f file as well. There's knight d5 in the air. Wow. That looks like some kind of a stress for sure. How about taking here, and taking on b5? No, there is also a3 hanging. No, you can't play that. Nice move by Duda, putting a lot of pressure on Magnus Carlsen. Magnus has only 10 seconds on the clock. How should he face this? He's thinking very hard there, totally focused. 4-3, bishop d6, just with 4 seconds left. Puts his bishop back there. Pretty good move. How about rook c6? Just staying there. Yeah, rook c6, rook f7. Okay, take, king takes, and then b6, b7. And then rook takes d6, b8 queen. So took and b6 has happened. Wow. Will Duda's pawn queen, or will Magnus get enough play? I think he'll give a check. It's a typical. Oh, he goes king e7, but now b7. Rook d3. Knight d5. Rook b3. He came back. Rook b3. Now maybe it's time to switch. Yeah, the knight protects the pawn. Check there. Or you can go even rook f6. Just be careful. Yeah, like there's some mate. There could be some mating ideas, but it's white who has reached there first. King here. Rook check. Bishop a7. Rook h7. Oh, this is looking really bad for black. But he's bringing his king in. The position could be around equal because this pawn is very strong. I mean, it looks like white is better, but the moment he takes this pawn, his pawn on b7 is lost. Also, king b7. I mean, king is pretty active there. Rook d7, so that if king d4 there is some deadly discovered check, but I'm not sure what. Knight b6 perhaps to give a check, not now, but wins. He goes king d4. Wow, that's brave. It's brave. On knight b4, check. Okay, first king e3, and you can go knight c6 now, but then rook b2 check, and then this king, bishop, and rook may combine to give white a winning position, like black a winning attack. Knight d5 check. What do we do? King d4. King takes e4. And f6 check. He wants to take here. He wants to take that pawn. King f5. Can we take it now? Or will the knight get trapped? I don't think the knight is ever going to get trapped because knight g7 does exist. King check. Rook b2, king f1, king e4. 24 seconds for Duda. Look at how both of them are tremendously concentrated. The game is actually quite close to a draw, but both sides have their trump cards. The b pawn is white's trump card. The king coming in and taking this pawn is black's trump card. bd4. King d1. How should black respond now? Carlson has 1 minute 18 seconds. He knows that he's doing well here, but he doesn't want to waste time attacking this knight. Pawn will queen. The rook has to be here. King d3, rook c2, king. Oh, they are agreeing to a draw or what? Check. Okay, king b1. Draw. The position has ended in a draw here. Duda not very happy, nor is Magnus Carlsen very happy. But 1.5 is the score. What a fight between these two players. Let's have a quick look at the game which is in progress. Alireza versus Wesley So. Alireza seems to be winning here. Or is this a draw? Theoretically. King E2. Oh, he resigned already. Alireza won. He's 2-0 up. What a performance by Alireza. Amazing, amazing. Let's have a look at the Carlson game and try to understand how our analysis was. And trying to understand with the bar now, which is how we want to learn and keep getting better. So here's the bar for you. I'll start it off now. So this one, I mean, white seemed to be slightly better. But I was just wondering if bishop h3 is possible. Yes, it is, but gives white an advantage after take, knight g2. King is very safe for now. And if you go knight, oh, there is rook e4. So h3, bishop e6, queen d1, rook d8, knight f3. I liked how Duda maneuvered his pieces. Knight d2, knight e4. It's around equal. Knight takes, pawn takes, bishop e6, queen e2. And this was the moment where I was thinking knight b3 or c4. But he went bishop b6. Guys, c4 is not a bad move. It would give white a clear-cut edge, maybe the best. Knight b3 also is not a bad choice. So, both are possible. Okay, anyway. Bishop b6. Knight f3, knight g6, queen e3. Yeah, now this I loved, this entire part of the game. g3, g5. Rook g7. Yeah, rook d1 maybe not the best. King h2 was possible. But here, knight g1. 4 rook d2. Takes. And I think Duda started to pull the threads here. As we said, he was better. Magnus managed to beat off the attack. Yeah. b6. Although white's pawn was passer, I don't think there was enough things to. Rook d7, king d4. In the end, they agreed to a draw. Okay, interesting game. And with this, Magnus leads 1.5. Also, Alireza Firouzja is winning 2-0 against Wesley So. Leinier Dominguez is on 1.5 out of 2. Or maybe, yeah. And Alireza Firouzja won. And all about Aronian. He won against Mamedyarov. So all these people need half a point. In that sense, you can see how Nihal is performing is really good. Oh, this was the previous round game, yeah. Here actually. Takes. He attacked beautifully, it seems here. Queen c6 not good. Queen e2 was better. Queen c6. h3. Check, 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 and mate. Wow, look at this. Take, I think take, followed by check. Beautiful. So Mamedyarov actually won this game. That means it's 1-1 now in this match. Alireza is 2-0 and Dominguez is 1.5-half. He beat Artemiev. Okay, guys, before we go to the next round, I think I'm a bit tired today. I'm going to call it a night because also analyzing without an engine is also very tough. But I just want to make sure that before I leave, there are a few announcements that I want to make. You can get chess course, the third link in the description, for 25% off only tonight. From tomorrow, it will be its normal price. We have the ChessBase India chess sets available here, premium chess sets with pouch and also a bag for the chessboard. The chessboard is a rollable board, which is very high quality pieces as well. So our pawn looks, knight looks, rook, bishop, queen, king. So you can get that. Also, please do download our app from the ChessBase India, from the Android store. In ChessBase India, you can get latest chess videos, calendar, position for the day, latest chess news, banner, search, very powerful search. You also have social media and also the ChessBase India app. So please do download it. It's the first link. First link is the app, second is the chessboard, and the third one is the chess course book. Okay, guys, I'll call it a night because I didn't want to cover the entire thing, but it was good fun. Should we do like one more Carlson game or should we call it a night? What do you want? I'm a bit tired, but whatever you say. Yeah, I was today like completely, I had to go outside to do some work and so I couldn't. One more Carlson game or? Okay, let's do a vote. Let's do a poll and then we'll decide. Because I want to, I'm enjoying myself without engine, basically. But it's a little bit too much. Guys, don't keep on asking for bar. No, that's like the bar will be there at some point. I mean, if there was some Indian playing, I would have had bar, maybe made it like really exciting. But here, and also Duda versus Carlson is a nice matchup, to follow. So it's fun for sure. But in the end, I was not able to think much. Okay, let's see. Travel with Nikhil Roshan says, thank you, Sagar bhai. Take some rest. Ordered a t-shirt. Hope it fits me. Well, I hope it does. Which one did you order? A black one? India t-shirt. Yeah. Thank you so much, Nikhil Roshan, for that. And okay, for now, everyone is like, yes, let's have one more game. Gupta Bihari, can I buy pieces only? Right now, you need to buy chessboard and pieces, but I think I'll ask them to put only pieces, only board, like that. Yeah, maybe that will do that. Okay, let's have one more game. I mean, what was the poll for? If after the poll we do not cover it, let's look at until this begins. This position. This is Dominguez versus Artemiev. Okay, threat is e5. You can take, but then after take, bishop e4 is hanging. Okay, e4. How does black continue? I mean, black could play. Joy Datta says, we always love to hear your commentary, but please not at the expense of your health. No, I mean, not at the expense of my health. I would end after this one, but I'm just curious about how Magnus will play with white now. That is the reason why I want to see. Also, we'll take the bar off as always, as we've been doing. Guys, also I want to tell you one thing, and this is very important. Many people think that, while playing chess it's okay to use engines, and that is not true, guys. And if you are into that, please stop doing it. Don't cheat. It's a big, how do I put it, it's, for me it's criminal. It's really bad if you use engine while playing chess, because you are fighting. It's a mind game. It's basically, you are not being fair to your opponent, and you're not respecting the game. So please don't use it. That is my humble request. If anyone is doing that, stop it. For me, it's very important that all of you play chess with ethics. That is the key. Like, all the young kids who are watching this, please be sure that playing chess is about your skills. Even if you lose, it doesn't matter, but you have to play it with your own skills. Yes, for analyzing it's fine, but not during the game. Oh, look at this. Dominguez has gone e5. Let's have a look at their. Oh, by the way, Carlson is like, Carlson is all the time eating, right? Like, full time he's been eating. Wow, e4 on the board. What is he eating? e4, c5, knight f3, e6. Okay. Guys, move. What do you play here? Now he's drinking something. Duda is like, Carlson, how much are you going to eat? What is this? Carrot? He's not making his move. He's thinking like e6. Duda क्या खेलेगा? थोड़ा मजा करते हैं. Duda क्या? ओ हम b3. So now bishop को ये diagonal पे must will put there. So Duda is like fine Magnus bishop वहां पे तो मतलब doesn't make sense, right? Like it's my chance to beat Duda. By the way, all those who haven't checked out Grandmaster Chess with Duda, he shows one of his games with Carlson where he beat him with black. So knight c6, खेले. Knight f6 is also possible. Shivam Mehrotra, it's 1.5 half. Second game ended in a draw. Thinking, actually there are so many possibilities. Duda is like d5 करे, knight c6. Okay, knight को c6 पे Magnus is like eating carrot and making moves and a6. And now drinking soup. I think d4 maybe now. Or do you want to go g3? Double fianchetto. Knight c3 I don't like. Okay, take knight d4. Now can we go knight f6, e5, then queen f5, knight d2, then queen e5 check. Okay. Kevin Pandya, Sagar bhai tum mast aadmi hai, no bar chess great. Yeah, thank you. I also am enjoying it. Knight d4. Okay, क्या मूव करे? क्वीन a5 चेक. अरे वाह, क्वीन a5. अगर तुम ये मूव करोगे तो क्या क्वीन e5 खेल सकते हैं? बिकॉज टेक चेक एंड देन पिक दिस अप. That doesn't look good. So knight c3 may not be played. If you play queen d2, then I take, knight takes, and you lose a piece. c3 also I don't like. Knight d4. Looks like queen a5 check is a disruptive move. What was I doing actually? Did I do this? Did I show you this line? Free queen? Sorry for that. So not knight c3, queen e5. Of course not. Knight c3, there would be bishop b4. Of course. Knight d2. Okay. Queen e5, knight f3. No, knight f3 no. Because queen e4. Queen e5 is just too much, yeah, like just defends. 1 second, what is this? What would you do for this move? Actually, it's silly, but is it? Because ये मर रहा है. I'm missing something simple. Keshav Singh, thank you for becoming supporter of Indian chess. Maybe, but what do you do here? Because I'm attacking this and this is pinned. If you move your knight away, then this is hanging on b2. One switch knight to f3. If you play this knight, I take. Maybe you can do this. Take and bishop e2. Yeah, this looks like good compensation. And knight d2 was played. Knight f6. Knight takes. Pawn takes. And now bishop d3, I believe. Guys, what would you do here if you were white? Where would you put your bishop? Let's see. How many of you play the same move as Magnus Carlsen? White to move. What do you do? E5, knight e4. Then d takes c6. Yeah, let's not blunder this pawn. So bd3 looks good, but also e5 looks interesting. Yeah, bd3 was played. Okay. I think Duda can go bishop b4 here. Trying to pin this. Yeah. Okay, what does Magnus do now? c3, bishop takes c3, bishop takes c3. By the way, how many of you did say bd3? Nice. Lot of people. Let me just give a shout out. Nirvik, Avinash, Shaibi, Rakshit, Bong Cloud, Bhargav, Alpha Cynical, B Rabbit, Ayush Garg, Serene, Arial. So all of you did say that. Now I can't go c3. It's a free pawn. I can go queen e2 and long castle, but then a2 would be hanging. So maybe a3 here directly. a3, bishop c3, b4, queen e5, f4. Guys, ये देखो a3. If you take here, then I think Magnus would love to play such a position. Two bishops and he would grind slowly. Bishop c3 is one possible move. If you take, then Magnus Duda is happy. You go b4, correct? And now in order to stay in touch here, you go queen e5. And then knight f3 maybe just over. No, knight f3 is pinned, sorry. f4 was what I was thinking. Then queen d4. Maybe analyze this and he's like, okay, this is playable. Interesting. See what. Now Duda is drinking something. What is, both of them are like eating and drinking and Bishop b4. Yeah, but what else? I mean, guys, a3 ke jagah aur kya move? What are the moves, other moves that come to your mind? Like, is there anything else that white can play here? White to move. What are the other moves that can be played? Maybe queen c1. But then bishop c3 anyway. I think bishop c3 is a real issue to solve. How about f4, bishop c3 anyway? Yeah. Okay, king e2 might be a bit too much to ask for, right? King e2. Point is, if you go bishop c4, I just break this pin. Yeah, but you have check at least. So bishop p4, what does he do? Yeah, Suryan Shirbate also said king e2, but yeah, I don't think. Oh, he played it. He played it. He played king e2. He played it, guys. Magnus plays king e2. Magnus is telling Duda that, look, buddy, now your bishop and queen are going to look silly if my knight moves away. Bishop c3, knight c4, queen h5 check. Oh, g4. No, g4. Queen takes f3, queen g2. Still okay. It's playable. So not g4. So not this. बिशप c3 खेल ही सकते हैं वैसे तो. No, as I told you guys that bishop d2 takes ये तो ठीक नहीं है. Suryan Shirbate, congrats for finding king e2. I mean, it's so difficult. This is typical Magnus position. Two bishops can expand in the center. He went short castle here. Knight c4. Knight c4. Now maybe queen goes back. Yeah. a3 is possible. I could also play e5, but knight d5. Queen c7 goes bishop e5. Is the queen in trouble? Or is this bishop getting trapped? Let's focus. Queen d8, a3. Now, a3 bishop goes back, correct. Yeah, as black, you have to be careful here. But also as white, I mean, both sides under some pressure. King on e2 is not going to do well. He goes c3. Okay. Bishop e7 back now. Yeah. He plays it. How does white continue? How does he get his king to safety? He went bishop c2. Okay. Trying to exchange. I think Duda has to take, no? I mean, exchange queens at the very least. '97. Guys, just a second, I'll be back. Yeah, bishop d6 has been played. So b5, okay. Knight e3. If you take, queen takes. Such a weird game, right? Such a weird game with the king on e2. Okay, bishop b7 is one idea now. Just develop, play c5. Also c5 is possible in the position. I don't want to take and allow your queen to come in. Perhaps bishop b7 with the idea of c5 I like a lot. The knight on e3 is not doing much actually. But what to do? Duda has 10 minutes, Carlson has 7 minutes. Both of them have finished eating stuff. Okay, basically Duda, what is he thinking? Let's try to think. One move he can think of is c5. Just opens up the bishop. I like this overall. The other one is to put bishop here. It's also fine. So I think it's between these two moves, right? I don't see anything else in particular. I think Duda is also thinking like take, queen takes, and queen f6. That could be something on his mind. And then knight e5. That is queen c6 there. Knight f6, I'm not a big fan of it because after bishop e7, queen e7. Yeah, maybe knight f6 is also okay. See, knight f6, take, take, e5, knight d5. No, he's not played yet. Duda taking unusually long, and this happens with Magnus often. When he's ahead on time, when he's behind on time, his opponents start thinking a lot and then he catches up. What? A5? He played A5. He wants to develop his bishop this way. Guys, did any one of you think of this? So he went E5, B4. Okay. What about C4 now? No, I think bishop A6 is really a dangerous activity for the bishop. But if you go C4, which is the most natural move, there has to be something. The reason why he played this. Or maybe he just goes knight C5. Like if you take, my knight is well placed. And if you take on C5, bishop C5, then the bishop is really very active. B4, queen D3. Threatening mate in one, guys. Cheapo. But it's like he didn't play this just for a trap. I mean, of course, he's looking at already getting his rook to the center. D3. What is he thinking? I mean, there are not many options to avert mate. So anything else you do, you'll just take it. So G6. Queen D3. Okay, guys, I'll go call it a night over here because the game can still go on for a long time. 10 more minutes, 10, 15 more minutes. Yeah, I want to continue, but okay, after I finish, please do write in the chat, like in the comments, as to how do you like this no engine commentary thing. Please let me know, yeah. How about h4 with the idea of h5? Anyway, my rook is here. It could get active down the h file. G6. Rook A D1. Magnus says H4, H5 might be a bit too much, taking it a bit too far. Now if I take B takes C3, Bishop E7, Queen E7, and keep in mind that there is this problem, yeah? So B takes C3, perhaps Queen takes, I don't know, he takes on D6, takes on D6, okay? And now maybe take this. Okay, C6 is hanging, but there is Bishop A6 check. So I think he should take the pawn, right? B takes C3. Oh, he goes Queen G5. Interesting move. Duda is like, okay, I'm attacking your pawn, which is an important one. Also, your king is a bit exposed. Game heating up, guys. Game heating up. Rahul Kanetkar, not Bishop A6 because of C4, just blocking the check. I know all of you guys have been writing like, oh, for better reach, for more viewers, you should do this. But guys, there are certain streams that I don't want to do for just viewers, that just do for learning, for improvement. This is one of them. And yes, there are streams where I would love when more people join and it's great fun. So yeah, I understand bar is for more and more people, while no bar is for people who enjoy chess, who want to think on their own. Like right now, what does white do? ये pawn मर रहा है, बचाओगे कैसे? If you go knight c4, then there is this pawn hanging. Also bishop a6 should be considered, but there is queen d7 now. So what to do? Queen g5 is played. Now Magnus Carlsen, he is thinking for his move. Still eating, taking this pawn. Very risky pawn. But the rook is hanging. Oh, rook to a7. Duda is like, I don't want to give check. Check, he plays c4. Knight to e5. Maybe, maybe not. Position very complicated. Rook a7. At the right moment, bishop b7 can be played. Queen takes d7. There is bishop f3 check. Winning this possible. I get this feeling that the Magnus king very weak. Only two. What to play here with white? Guys, meanwhile, Levon Aronian pushing his pawn towards queen. Looks really risky. I can go rook a chair, king c6, rook e1, king d7, g6. Oh, Duda playing here. Rook a7, c4, queen to e5, queen d6. Why he not taking with the knight? Taking with the knight possible. So queen takes, queen d6. Black to move. What should black play? Oh, black should take the queen here. Maybe not. Maybe black should keep the queens on the board with the king in the center with queen h5, but then g4, attacking the queen. I do not know. What should black do? Because take, it seems like white's got all his problems solved with the king very well placed in the center. Queen d6. What to play with black? Queen h5. Queen d6. What are the other options? Queen b2 maybe? Possible. Queen b2, rook d2 also. Good move. Queen d6, rook d6, knight c5. Also not bad position. With knight on c5. What are Duda and Carlson both doing, like on the side? None of them is interested in playing chess, huh? Both are like eating, drinking, looking at something. Queen d6. Okay. So now let's say Krzysztof Duda is like, hey Magnus, I really want to beat you. I'm 1 point down in the match. It's 1.5 half. This is the third game. Really need to beat and level the scores. So he says, let me keep the queens on the board. I'll go queen h5. And Magnus plays his pawn to f3. Just telling Krzysztof that no matter what you do, f3. Both sides have less than 3 minutes on the clock. This is going to be a bloodbath now. Huh? Anything can happen. What does black do here? Black can go knight c5. Black can go queen c5. I mean, it doesn't want to exchange the queens. Bishop b7, queen d7, bishop f3, gf. Duda has just 2 minutes left on the clock. He has to make his move quickly. And 1 minute 45 seconds. So very little time for Duda, and they have played what 23 moves only yet. Now 1 minute 10 seconds. Man, what is Duda doing? He plays f5. What? What sort of move is that, guys? Isn't this a free pawn here? f5, queen e6, king h8. Then you get, I mean, f5 is a move that you don't really think so much. Such a risky move. Magnus now has 2 minutes on the clock. Take king g7. How to continue? Generally, like when someone blunders, yeah, against Magnus or something. A threat is also at some point if the bishop moves to take rook d7. So queen d6 back. How about knight f6? "58 seconds left for Duda. Goes knight f6, queen d4. Oh, Magnus wants to maybe just put the knight on d5 and then make use of the spin. Is it possible? Like rook d7, there is this. Maybe he will go rook e7. Oops, sorry. Rook e7, king f2. So rook e7, king f2, right? Now threat is knight d5. Just to cement the knight there. Maybe bishop b7 to get rid of the knight. "15 seconds for Duda. Come on. You need to move. Rook e8. So now knight d5 there is. One minute 54 seconds for Magnus Carlsen. Okay, I'm going to use my last bit of energy to commentate for this last part. Okay, guys. Thank you for bearing with me. Now, if I play knight d5, there is rook e2 check. Can get really nasty there. But it's not so clear. Rook e2, king f1. If you take here, I can take the knight. But Magnus says, I really don't have to be getting into all those complications. I'll first defend my knight and then I'm threatening knight d5. But hey, what about queen h2? Is that a pawn worth taking? Maybe, maybe not. Bishop b7 by Duda. Duda says if the knight comes to d5, I will chop it off. There's nothing more that I'd like than chopping off the piece before it starts getting very dangerous. At the same time, the h2 pawn is hanging in the position. So white has to be careful. He plays queen f4, trying to defend this pawn. Are there any tactics in the air? Black to move. I want to play knight e4 or knight g4 ideas. Not yet there. King g8. And white is a pawn up, if you count, and has a good position. But it's still too early to say whether he'll win or not. Knight f1. So Magnus like, I'm defending the pawn. I have a passer here, a runner here. And g5. Duda is like, It's enough of calmly playing this position. I'm going all out. 12 seconds in hand. What if I take this pawn, guys? Is it possible to just take the pawn and be better? Or not really? G5, Queen F5. What is happening here? Rook E8, Rook E8, Queen H4, G3, Queen D4. Maybe that's... G5 isn't taken on F5 yet. He's thinking for his move. 44 seconds for Magnus Carlsen. Duda has 12 seconds. He takes the pawn. He takes the pawn. He asks Duda, where is your compensation? Oh, G3 now is forced. Right, that is the only move. Otherwise, you'll lose the rook. Oh, there's also knight G3. Oh, he plays knight G3. Wow. Knight to G3. And now, what does Duda do? So if Duda gives a check, I come king F1. That's a safe. Very safe. So king F1. Duda unable to kind of match Magnus here, because if he loses this game, today is over. He's 1.5 half. Right now, he's 2 pawns down. Queen E1. Queen E3. If king here, there is a problem with the check. So knight E2. Knight E2. Black is 2 pawns down. Fight till the end, but I think Magnus is winning here. King G7, Queen A5. Another pawn bites the dust. B4 is hanging. Oh, he resigned. Magnus has won and the day has ended today. Duda has lost 2.5 half. Magnus Carlsen wins. Amazing. Well played, Magnus. Really, we looked at this game without a bar and we kind of realized it was very, very complicated. But we can check with the bar now so that we know whatever we saw, what part of it was correct, what part of it was wrong. This is generally how we do it, and we learn and we improve. Okay. So firstly, opening, all okay. Knight C6, Bishop B2, A6, D4 takes Queen A5, Knight D2. Oh, Queen E5 was there. Queen E5, Bishop E2. What? Knight D4, Knight C4. Okay, got it. I was kind of liking that Queen E5 move, yeah. Engine also likes it. But Knight F6 takes Bishop D3, Bishop B4. Yeah, I was calculating this line: A3, Bishop C3, B4, Queen E5, F4, BD2 and Queen B2. Oh, I missed this. I think King E2 was a bit too much. Castles. Yeah. What about Bishop C3? Knight C4, Queen H5, King F1, Queen D1, Rook D1, and maybe it's slightly better for white. So King E2 castles, Knight C4, Queen C7, Bishop E5, C3, Bishop E7. Bishop C2, Knight D7, Bishop D6, B5, Knight E3, A5. Maybe instead of A5, Knight F6. Oh, but what about C5? Also possible. Bishop D7, maybe also. D3, A5, E5. b4, queen d3, g6, rook ad1, bishop d6, queen d6, queen g5 takes rook a7, dc4, he plays pawn to c4, queen e5, queen d6, queen h5. The position is still, there is life here. f5 turned to be a big mistake. Yeah, he has lost a pawn. Okay, f5 here, bishop b7, queen f4, knight f1, good move. Good move. And then here, white is now 3 pawns up and Magnus won. Okay, so f5 was the critical error, which we kind of realized. I didn't like it at all for Duda. And overall, Magnus had a thoroughly dominating performance. Thank you all for tuning in, guys. I will leave you tonight with some more games that are happening. Maybe you can check it out later on our report tomorrow. But I enjoyed today the no to analyze without a bar. I hope you enjoyed as well. It's not going to be a regular thing. We'll do it once in a few days, maybe some point. It would be fun to follow. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked it, please let me know in the comments section. And before I go, for all those who have just joined in, we have the ChessBase India app, which was launched yesterday. It was kind of revamped and you can download it from the first link. It's on Android. You get a lot of features, videos, calendar, position for the day, news, banners, and so on. The second link in the description is about the chessboard. It's a premium chess set with a cloth to put the board and pieces. And also this is how the pawn looks. Knight, they are heavy pieces, rooks, bishops, queen and king. And also the third link is about chess course. Today is the last day for the discounted price of 25%. It's one of the best books to be written on basics, chess basics, from someone who doesn't know anything about chess to someone who is around 1200, 1300. So guys, on that note, I'll take your leave and thank you all for following. You are all very kind. I was a bit tired, but thank you for bearing with me. Bye bye.